What's up YouTube? This is Sam Oldham with Backcountry Life, and today we're going to be talking about the Razor MX350 Dirt Rocket. Stay tuned. All right, welcome back. So this is a Razor MX350. They call it the Dirt Rocket. So I bought this one years ago for my kids to get them started in dirt biking. And in fact, this is one of the bikes that I recommend getting your kids started with if you want to get them into dirt biking. If you guys want to just skip ahead and see how much one of these costs, there is a link in the description you can click on and go straight to see how much one of these bad boys will run you. Let's go over some specs. So the Razor MX350 is electric dirt bike, so it's a lead acid battery that's enclosed. The charge time for it is 4 to 6 hours, and the run time is about 30 minutes, obviously depending on conditions, where they're riding and how hard they're riding it. This does 14 miles per hour, so it's pretty quick. It has a twist throttle just like it would be on a dirt bike, except it's only right next to the little system here. It's not the full grip as the throttle. So it has rubber grips. It has one brake up here on the handlebar, which is for the rear, has kickstand and even foldable pegs. Well, that one's folding, that one's jammed. So the other thing is it's made out of steel frame, and it has adjustable handlebars. This, as you can see, these forks are not inverted forks or anything like that, so there's no suspension, there's no rear shock or anything like that. So it does, if the terrain gets pretty bumpy or rocky, it does bounce, which makes it uncomfortable or harder for your child to ride. And it does come with, they say knobby tires, but I mean, they're not that knobby, but they're just standard, tires with a tube in it. Everything's pretty much enclosed. It just has a charge, station here on this side and an on-off switch, and we'll roll in some footage so you can take a look at that closer. So pretty simple. You just plug it in, charge it for 4 or 5 hours, and then you can run it for 30 minutes. So yeah, the run time versus how long it takes to charge is kind of one of the downsides. So I've had this bike for 4 or 5 years, so I bought this for my kids to get them started in dirt biking. And the reason for that is like a Honda CRF 50 or something like that is going to be around 100 to 110 pounds, and this is like 40 to 50 pounds. And so if your child tips it over, it's not as big of mass laying on them, and they also can pick the bike up themselves. So that's something to think about. And then also there's just nothing hot on the bike, so they're not going to burn themselves or anything like that. And because it's an electric bike, it doesn't make very much sound. Now, like I said, it does go about 14 miles per hour, which means that is pretty fast. The one thing that I really liked is that my kids could ride it whenever they wanted. So if I was at work and they wanted to tool around in the backyard or something like that, they could actually charge the bike themselves, because it's a pretty simple system, turn the bike on and then ride it. Whereas with a gas powered, they have to kick it or electric start, and I just feel a little bit less comfortable letting them ride the bike without me being there. But with this electric bike, I felt a lot more confident in allowing them to ride it, around the neighborhood and so forth. So, in fact, when my boy first got it and he figured out he could turn it on himself, I wouldn't let him ride in the street, which I don't recommend because they're silent and they go pretty fast, and so people can't see him, so don't ride him in the street. But anyway, so I told him he could ride it in our yard. Well, I came home from work and he had made a perfect figure 8 track or trail in my lawn around my trees. So he'd been riding it a lot. My wife said that he would ride it till the battery died, and then he would plug it in and do it again. So that's the cool thing about it, is they can get comfortable and learn how to through the throttle, so there's no noise, so it's not as scary, there's no vibration or anything like that. So it's less intimidating, and that's the whole point, is we want our kids to have fun and feel confident on the bike. And then if they tip it over for whatever reason, they can pick it up themselves. So to me, that's the reason why I think this is the best bike to start with, is just the fact that your kid can ride it in your backyard and your neighbors aren't going to get mad, and you know, you don't feel like you have to be sitting out there coaching them the whole time. Now, I do recommend teaching them the basics, obviously, before you just turn them loose, like how to stop. How to stop, to me, is the first thing you teach your kid if you're going to get them into dirt biking. Some of the things that I feel like aren't really that awesome is the fact that it has no suspension. It really just hammers, you know, if you go through some bumpy terrain or something like that, your child's gonna feel it. And you know, for the most part, they don't really care, but you can see them bouncing around, and it's not that fun. So no front fork or no rear shock. And now I know that some of the bigger brothers of the, you know, this Razor MX350 actually do have some inverted forks or have some forks up front. So that's something to look at. They are bigger. The other thing is the seat height is, you know, a little bit lower. So to me, the seat height's like probably for the Yamaha PW50 about that size. So it's a little bit lower than like a CRF50 or a TTR50 or something like that. So, you know, they feel confident because they're not tippy-toeing or anything like that. The other thing is the runtime. You know, it's a lead acid battery, so runtime is like 30 minutes. So, you know, that's on pavement. If it's in anything dirt, loose, sand, or anything like that, that significantly decreases the runtime. So keep that in mind. The other thing is the charge time. It just takes way too long to charge. You know, 4 or 5 hours for a full-time charge is just, you know, that's kind of, you know, we talk about that all the time, is this with dirt bikes that are gas powered, that's kind of the ideal thing, is you can just put more gas in and continue to ride. Where electric bikes, you just have to charge it. And the battery is not removable or swappable. You might be able to do it, but they didn't design it to do it that way. And, you know, for the most part, it's been pretty reliable. It's actually about a year ago just started kind of, you know, just where the battery just wouldn't hold the charge long enough for you to really ride it. You could kind of ride it. You know, my kids haven't been riding it, so that's part of it. You know, with a battery, you got to keep it charged and fresh. My kids are older now, so they're riding gas-powered dirt bikes. But so for the most part, it's been pretty reliable, and I'm surprised. You know, Razors, you know, they make decent stuff. I'm not going to say it's super high quality, but you know, for the money, for what you get, I actually think we've got our money's worth. Now, I do have buddies. In fact, Logan bought one that he hasn't got near the runtime or the usage out of his before his kind of gave up the ghost. So it really all depends. But for just getting your kids out, riding dirt bikes, get them used to the throttle and the brakes and just the forward motion of a dirt bike, and it really helped my kids significantly increase their skills and their confidence to move to a gas-powered motorcycle. So I recommend getting one, to be honest with you, if you're going to teach your kid how to ride. In fact, I had my gas-powered Honda, my CRF50, the same time as I did this, and they rode this way more until, you know, they started, you know, feeling confident and everything. So like I said, there is a link in the description where you can pick one of these up and see how much they cost. It's a great Christmas gift. You know, I think it's a great starter bike for your kids to get going with. Anyways, this is my thoughts on the Razor MX350. If you guys have any experience with these electric bikes, or even have other recommendations for starter bikes that maybe I haven't mentioned, hit us up in the comments. Let me know. I'd want to hear your feedback. And if you haven't already started following us, hit that subscription button, and don't forget to share and like this video. And thanks for watching, guys. See ya. Now, we're going to talk about a little bit of crap. We're redoing all of that. Sorry, Logan.